All right, boys, welcome back. Today, did I press live? Let me make sure I press go live. I did press go live. Today is Friday. Happy Friday, TGIF, August 7th, 2026. It's another fantastic day, another wonderful day, another great day to be alive. Not sure, it's a great day. I know it's going to be a great stream when I start the stream and NotSure is already in the stream. He says, this Mountain Dew tastes like medicine. Are you still drinking that Diet Mountain Dew from the picture you sent the other day? Because, well, that wasn't a Diet Mountain Dew. So first of all, if you're in Canada, they have sugar-free Diet Mountain Dew, which is not the same. And second of all, I guess about 3 or 4 months ago, they started coming out with all these different variations on Diet Mountain Dew, which was not Diet Mountain Dew. And so you could have the weird variation. You could have the Canadian version, or another thing. And people think I'm crazy for this, but this is legit. If you look at a soda, usually, at least the Diet Mountain Dews, they will have a date up here. They'll have a date on this part of the soda. And like, for example, this one says September 21st, 2026. That is the expiration date. And sodas past the expiration date do not taste good. They do, in fact, taste expired. You say it's the zero sugar Mountain Dew. The zero sugar Mountain Dew is not the same as the Diet Mountain Dew. They are different. They're completely different. So I think I know what you're talking about, because they actually do have the zero sugar the zero sugar Mountain Dew here in the States, along with the Diet Mountain Dew in the States. Again, they're two different recipes, two different sodas. So you probably, you got the wrong thing. Okay, so it expires October 12th, 26. So you're good on the expiration date. But in general, it's just bad all around. Tonight we might do it members only, because there's something I want to talk about. Granted, I went ahead and spilled my guts about my last relationship for everybody on the internet to hear. But depending on what kind of crowd we get tonight, we might switch over to a members only, maybe a half hour or so before the end of the stream, or I might go a little bit longer since it's Friday. But there is something I wouldn't mind talking about. NotSure says, that's what you get for dating a 29-year-old. What do I get? A flat stomach, and not me. I don't get the flat stomach. I just get to enjoy the flat stomach. And is that what I get to enjoy, the flat stomach? That's really what kind of did it. But then again, I can't really say that, because my wife also has a flat stomach, so I'm surrounded by flat tummies. I don't know what it is. I somehow hit the flat tummy lottery. So the flat stomach lottery. I don't know. So maybe that's what I hit. I don't want to say. We don't like to objectify women on this stream. Remember that. We do not like to objectify women on this stream. Sorry, bro. Rest in peace. Why are you saying sorry? Why are you saying sorry? Sorry. So I do have some news related to that. I'll be heading back to Cape Town. Well, I think I mentioned I was going to go to Namibia anyway. But I'm going to be going to Cape Town, probably spending a week in Cape Town and then heading to Namibia. And I'll just come out and say it. It won't be alone. At least, again, when you're talking about breakups and then the couple kind of coming back together, things can be volatile. So things can change on a day-to-day basis, right? But as of right now, the plan right now is not to be alone. So I'll let you draw your own conclusions there. Anyway, so I feel like this is a sugar daddy. It's not. I know everybody, not everybody thinks that, but it's definitely not. If it was, I'd be broker. Let's put it that way. I'd be a lot more broke if it was. Granted, when the man makes more money than the woman, there's always some sugar daddy dynamic to it, right? Like that's how it is. Like when the man makes significantly more money than the woman, there is always some sugar daddy element to it. I mean, what man doesn't go out? What man, like in general, what man doesn't pay for dinner for his woman? Like what? I mean, like it's like that with my wife. Like with my wife, I'm paying for everything. So you could argue that my marriage is a sugar daddy situation. So again, what marriage isn't a sugar daddy situation to some extent? Aaron Murphy says, are you gay? I think things would probably be a lot simpler if I was, but unfortunately, no, I am not gay. I feel like being a Botswana sugar daddy is achievable. It is. It's. I mean, if you're going to be a sugar daddy, I would not recommend being a sugar daddy in America because that's very expensive. If you want to be a sugar daddy, go to a third world nation and be a sugar daddy there. That's much more it is much more achievable. It's achievable on like 150 grand, I would say. It's very achievable on 150 grand. Nodders, yes. So we're nodding along. Anyway, so I was gonna work on this. I mean, we can talk, we can chill, but we're gonna do some C++ programming today. I think that's what we're gonna do. I don't know why I started talking fast all of a sudden. I swear to God, NotSure. Would you please ban NotSure? Please ban NotSure. Please ban NotSure. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this bullshit. Every goddamn day. Parallel equals 16 every day. It's the same old crap. Okay, so this is a warning. I don't know what this warning is, but I want to get rid of it. Recap for the people who aren't me. You know what? When people come in and start asking the question, I'll let you give them the recap. How's that? Also, wait a minute. That reminds me of something. Wait a minute. Wait, just a second. Background. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Background. Why can I not type? Background check for tenant. All right. There's I remember a long time ago, I feel like I just used Zillow. Yeah. No, not free online tenant screening. I vaguely remember spending like $50 before to do a tenant screening before. Let's see about this. Screen a tenant. All right. This is what I got to do. This is the condition under which NotSure is allowed to move into my house. So, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to have to do this tomorrow when I'm not on stream. Aaron, I don't know why I feel like Aaron Murphy. I dated a woman named Erin Martin once, but I feel like her maiden name, either her maiden name or one of her married names was Murphy, because she was married like 3 times by the time I got to her. for lack of a better wording. She was, I'm pretty sure Murphy was one of her last names. So I'm wondering if that is my ex. Let me see, actually. Can I just... Oh, no, I'm not going to load... I was going to load up Facebook. I'm not going to load up Facebook. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so let me find another song, because this song is going to get me depressed, even though, like, it's weird, because it's like... No, that's a copyright song. Let's do this. It's weird, because I had... Oh, look, Mr. Joke Spot. I don't care for sloppy seconds. Yes. But it's weird, because, like, ever since we decided... like earlier today to go to Cape Town together. I was happy because yesterday and today, like, we were talking more, and then like I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna ask if she'll meet me in Cape Town. And so if she'll meet me in Cape Town. It was like, yep, she decided to. So, and then now it's like I'm scared to, like, because it's like everything, it's like a Jenga puzzle, right? And oh my God, and everything is like hanging at a delicate balance, right? And like pretty much every piece that can be pulled out has been pulled out. And it's like, I don't want to touch it. Like, I don't want to touch the Jenga puzzle because I'm afraid it's going to come crashing down. And like, no, I'm not coming to Cape Town. Like, no, like that's what I don't want to happen. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to go back to no contact. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go back to no contact because I'm terrified of just like the Jenga puzzle falling down and crashing all around me. And like, I don't want that. So, but at the same time, I don't want to be no contact either. So it's just like, it's a very delicate balance. NotSure says, I feel like she just wants to have fun and keep things casual. I mean, I don't think you're too wrong, but I think it's a little bit more than that. But I mean, I think you're kind of close, but yes and no. Yes and no. I think that it's a little more like, not sure how many women from third world nations have you dated? Because this is my third. And it's a little more complicated than that. It's a little more complicated. There are different considerations that women from third world countries have than you are probably used to women from more first world nations having. There's different considerations. It's a little bit different. The mentality is a little bit different. So I get what you're saying and I understand why you're saying that. And I'm not even saying you're completely wrong. I'm just saying it's a little more complicated than that. Okay. So we compiled. Okay, so the thing that that was broken yesterday was the thing. You know, the thing. Well, actually, I was thinking, let's try to get this to build on Windows. Let's do that first. So let me go ahead and open up a Visual Studio 2002 PowerShell shell. Yeah, see, you did 0. It's a little bit different. There's, like I said, now look, to some extent, women are women, right? Like women, like there are common characteristics that women all, doesn't matter what country, what race, what culture, what creed, it doesn't matter. There's certain things that just don't change. But then there are certain things that, like, you know, it's like playing a character in a video game, right? Like, you know, you only have like human to choose from, or you only have like everybody, like all the characters have 2 legs and 1 nose, but then there are different, then you can customize it a little bit. So the customizations for a woman from the third world is a little bit different than the customizations from a woman from like a more like developed nation. We'll put it like that. Okay. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm just going to try remaking again. I'm just going to try building, and then we have this new command line option, which I just learned about yesterday. Joke spot. We're working. Oh, what? He didn't ask. Why are you explaining it? Like, this was another. So you actually remind me of her. So there. What happened? What happened? Oh. So here's a story, and this is what NotSure would do. So. This way, it was like my 3rd or 4th day in Botswana, and I didn't have to, but I wanted to get a SIM card for the phone that I bought, the phone that is now in Russia, but that's a different story. But I wanted to get a SIM card for it. And so we go to like this cell phone store, or this phone store where you can get SIM cards. Okay. And they ask me for ID. And I didn't have my passport, and obviously they know I'm not a local, right? So I had, like, when I go to a foreign country, I don't carry my passport around with me. Like, it's generally not advisable. You generally do not want to carry your passport with you. There might be a weird oddball country where that requires it. Fine. Even then, you should probably, have you ever think about your wife? So my wife told me about this the other day. She was like, I'm going to come into the chat room and start commenting in your chat room. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what are you going to say? And she's going to be like, and then she said, I'm going to ask if you ever think about your wife. So my wife is in the chat room. So anyway, so I carry this little passport card with me, right? And the passport card, it's like when you get a regular passport, you can check whether you want a passport or a passport card or both. And so I always get both. And so I just get I will get both. But when I'm walking around the country, I'm carrying just the passport card with me because that serves as ID for a lot of instances. So we're in this mobile phone shop and they ask me for ID. And I pull out my passport card and the person I'm with, she says, no, they need your passport. And I'm like, it's okay. It's a passport card. And then the woman behind the counter, she's looking at it. And then Kat is like, no, they need a passport. And I'm like, it's a passport card. But the whole point of my mind, I'm like, shut up. Like, just shut up. Like, why are you helping? Why are you on their side? Like, they would have taken the ID. Like, I'm convinced they would have taken the ID because they were confused as to what happened when I was in St. Helena once. Oh my God. All right. I'm going to ban her because this is going to be distracting. She cheated on, and now you go back for her travel. Oh my God. This is, all right. Honey, please don't make me ban you. Please. This is like the crazies coming. You guys are loving this. And then Stefan there, it's a very sticky situation. Oh my God. This is just getting crazy now. All right. I'm just going to shut up. I'm just going to go program. My boy's girlfriend reminded the waiter yes, that kind of thing. Cause I'm like, it's a passport card. And then she's like, no, I've worked at these places before. I know they need a passport. And I'm like, let them fucking tell me. Like, why are you helping them? Like, no. So it's just like that's why NotSure reminds me of the same type where he's like, let me explain something to somebody who never asked what's going on. Like, let me make this situation worse. Let me let this situation go from neutral to worse just because. So anyway, NotSure says it was like $400. The bill to really oh my, well, in that situation, I might have been on the girlfriend's side on that case because in the bill case, I would probably that's illegal. Like that's kind of illegal. Like it could be illegal, right? Like you could just argue oh, I just happened to forget. I forgot. So, they told us to leave. So wait a minute. My boy's girlfriend reminded the waiter we didn't pay. So wait a minute. You, a friend, and then she, okay. I'm going to have to, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this. Ugh. I don't want things hijacked, but apparently they're going to be hijacked. So I'm going to unhijack it. But wait. So who did you go to dinner with? Wait a minute. Let me do this. We're going to go over here. We're going to go over there. Easy. All right. Let me see. All right. Let me see. All right. There we go. Okay. There. I'm sorry. But holy shit. For Christ's sakes. Okay. Anyway. I went to Fugu. Wait, isn't Fugu like a very fancy place in New York City? Is it anyway. All right. Oh God. It's gonna be a nightmare when it's about to be a nightmare up in here this weekend. And I didn't do anything. I mean, except for everything I did do, but I didn't do anything. All right, so let me see. I'm just going to throw this into... It's in Reston Town. Are you sure? Are you sure you know where you went? Fogu, Reston Town Center. Are you... I've never heard of this place. Time to hit the sauce, Addie. No, I'm not hitting the sauce tonight. No sauce. No sauce. Oh, excuse me. A Brazilian steakhouse. Fogo de Chao. Oh, I think my buddy David has talked about this place. No. All right, let me do this. I'm going to hide the screen for a second while I load up ChatGPT, because I don't need you guys seeing all my private ChatGPT conversations and be like, "What? How can I make it bigger?" Or like, should I be ashamed at how small it is? Like, you guys don't need to see that. Like, you guys don't need to see those conversations. All right, just give me a minute. All right, so we got this. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Perfect. All right. No, not that. Not that. We're going to do this. Project Home. All right, perfect. Okay. So we got this right here. And then, okay, so now I'm trying to do a Windows build help. All right. No, I should hit the sauce. I should. I have a bottle of wine that I've been sitting on that I kind of want to open that. Like, at this point, I don't know, but at this point I might be going back to Africa tomorrow at this point. Okay. This is almost certainly because you configured CMake without first letting Conan generate. Okay. So, okay. This is perfect. I know exactly what it's saying. Okay. Excellent. We'll do this. Apparently, we're not going to do that. Okay, I have to generate the profile. I fucking hate Conan, but we're not going to get into it. I'm just going to paste the errors right into ChatGPT, because again, the last time I tried doing this, ChatGPT, it was helpful, but it wasn't nearly as helpful as it is nowadays. But nowadays, it's a lot more helpful. So, and actually, I think I can reduce this probably to like medium, so we can get the answers more quickly. Oh, my stars and garters, nothing's working. This is just ending up to be a fantastic night right now. What a fantastic stream. And by the way, like my blackout tattoo, like we finished a significant portion of it today. He did not overcharge me this time, so that's good. But it's still a lot of money. But I told them, I said, well, I might be leaving. So basically, one of the reasons it was a little cheaper is because they were able to apply the deposit. Excuse me. They were able to apply the deposit to the total, because they don't need the deposit anymore. Because I was like, well, this might be the last time I come here, because I might be heading to Africa sooner than I thought. So that's that. All right, so we did this. Okay, so now we can do this, I think. Okay, so it's going to take a minute because I think it's going to have to build Boost. Amagashi says, hey, I'm an embedded software intern. Oh, good for you, Amagashi. Good for you. No, we got to go to the we got to go to the members only soon. Because I am dying. Okay, I'm going to write this down. Because I am so dying to talk about this, what happened at work, like what's going on, but we're going to do it in the members only. What is Boost? Boost is a very popular C++ library. It just has lots of function. I mean, there's individual components within Boost. I'll give you an example. Like there's Boost File System, which is a library for manipulating files, like getting a list of files in a folder, or moving a file from one location to another, things like that. Then there's like Boost. I'm trying to think of some of the more popular ones. Boost String, for example, is a Boost library for manipulating strings. Okay, a common library. Yeah, pretty much like a common library, but Boost is very popular. It's been around for a long time, and actually a lot of features that how can I put this? A lot of things in the, because there's the C. Don't get Boost confused with the C++ standard library. Okay, so the standard library is exactly that. It's a library for you to have a full-fledged C++ compiler, or a full-fledged C++ development package. It has to have the C++ compiler, and it has to have and it has to have the library, or the C++ standard library. And then it has the Boost library, which is like a third-party library, but it's very popular. But a lot of the things that end up in the C++ standard library originated from the Boost library. So things will start in the Boost library and they'll be there for a few years, and then they kind of graduate into the C++ standard library. Does C++ have library management? That's so the question's not phrased entirely accurate. So let me get out my tool. I better get it out. I feel like it's going to get cut off when somebody gets home. All right, so let me see. Drawing. Let me go to the number one architect tool used by software architects all over the world. Basically, Google Draw. Okay, so there's a couple of types of like when you say library, that's a very generic term. So I played with Go a little. It had repos for library. So what? Okay. So again, you're confusing your terms a little bit. Okay, you're confusing your terms a little bit. So let's back up. So there's okay. So let me start with compilation, right? So you take a C++ file, or like most programs are mini C++ files, and header we're going to talk about C++ and header. There's others, but these are the two things, right? And then what you do is you compile them, and then that gives you a .exe, okay? And then the .exe is the executable. That's what exe stands for, executable. Well, it can also stand for execution, which I feel like is what I'm going to be facing in about 45 minutes. That's a story for another day. So the source files get compiled into a .exe. Okay. Well, let's do it like this. Okay. So let's say you have a program. Let's talk about Arc. ARCC. Let's talk about Arc. We're gonna make this transparent. Nope. Transparent. Perfect. Okay. So this has ar.cc, okay? This is a file. I'm sorry, this is an executable file. Now, this obviously it comes from C++ code. Oh, why didn't I draw a border? I'm like legit dreading. I'm legitimately dreading what's going to happen in about 45 minutes. Like, I'm legitimate, like my, oh, wait, we didn't do a blood pressure check. Let's do a blood pressure check. I got the blood pressure monitor. Like, if you recall, my blood pressure, the last time I checked it yesterday, it was high. It was 148 over 100. Let's check it. All right, let's do this. We're gonna, okay, all right. I'm not gonna talk. I'm gonna try and figure out how to do a border instead. Okay, there it is. Just be quiet. Deep breaths. Okay. Oh, it's not as bad as I thought right now. So at 4:30 on the nose, 4:30 p.m., my blood pressure is 133 over 84. It's high, but it's not as high as I thought. Now, if I convert that to the metric system, it's still 133 over 84. So, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Anyway, so let me get back to this. Let me talk about libraries and stuff. Okay, so this exe file. So we're gonna like the process. But deep breaths. I know, deep breaths. Okay. JokeSpot says that's fine. It's really not. It's really high. Before I went to Africa, my blood pressure was consistently like 120s over 70s, right? Which is still, that's not high. It's elevated, but it's not high. Then when I got to Botswana, it skyrocketed. My blood pressure, it was like 160 over 120. It was insane. So now it's 133 over 84. That's high. JokeSpot says that's better than mine. Well, you need to lower yours. It's not a matter of mine is fine because yours is bad, like because it's the same as yours. It's that we both have elevated blood pressure. You need to fix your blood pressure. Like, what's your blood pressure normally? Like, no. Like, and you're young. You're a young guy. Like, it shouldn't be that high. It shouldn't, like, no, you're scaring me. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So what happened? So let's talk. I'm going to draw this. God damn it. I can't draw anything. Okay. So we put this over here. Easy. Okay. Now, so the exe file is composed of a lot of things. Let's talk about that. This is composed of, over here we have the C++ header files, right? This is the source code in the repo. Let's ignore this for a second. So what happens is this is the source code you write. When you compile, what happens is these things are compiled into, there's many things they can be compiled into, but I'm going to talk about object files, right? Because these are like, this is, I'm not going to delve into the details just yet, because I know some people, when they're explaining things, they will delve into every little minute detail and just give people information overload. I don't want to do that. I want to try and take it slow. And also I want to try and cover just like the most important things. So you have, okay, we got the linker and object files. Okay, yes. And that's what I'm explaining, right? So you have that, and then the object files, they become part of the .exe file, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, easy. Now, let's start. So this is like your source code. This, again, I'm just kind of reiterating the point. This is your source code. Okay, perfect. All right. So put that there. Now, let's talk about boost, okay? Now, let's say, now how would boost, for example, fit into this picture? Actually, boost is a bad example, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but let's talk about the format library, which of course is not going to show, but that's fine. Okay, so there's a very popular library in C++ called format, C++ format library, right here. Now, this used to, I'm going to pretend that it still is, but it used to be what's called header only, meaning the .h files are the header only files. What this means is the header, like when you see an include statement. So this, the reason I'm explaining this is because some people would consider this a library. You see this right here, right there? I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. If only we could do that in real life. No, but okay. So this format basically what happens when the preprocessor sees all these like include, literally, well, to some extent, literally, but we'll just go with literally. Literally, all it's doing is loading up that actual .h file and including it. Basically, it deletes this and then it populates it with whatever the contents of that are. So when this utils.cpp file, which is the file we're editing, when that file gets to the compiler, it just sees everything inline. Okay, so that's kind of how header files work. And the reason I mention that is because the format library, it probably even says in the description, the format modern formatting library, right? So that is a type of library. Okay, so that's like a header only library. It's not header only anymore, but it used to be header only. Anyway, so a header, that is a header. It's header only. Okay, anyway, how many times are we going to say header only? I can't say it anymore. Okay, now let's talk about Boost. Boost itself also has some header only. Remember how I said it had modules? It has some header only modules, right? And so those are interesting. Those are going to work pretty much the same way. Now let's talk about the non-header only modules. Another way that you could refer to them is the compiled libraries. Okay, so what happens there is kind of the same thing. Is you have oh, that's not what I want. I want this. Okay. Now the library, put this here. Easy. Okay. Easy. Okay, we're going to put it there. Okay, I got to change this music. I'm going to change it to something that I'm dreading, like some song of dread, some song of like, oh my God. No, not that. What about this? No. Copyright. Let's see. Copyright free music. No, that's too happy. No, too happy. I wasn't dreadful enough. I wasn't dreaded enough. I felt optimistic almost. Let's try this one. This one looks good. This has a good thumbnail. I don't hate it. Okay, we'll stick with this. Okay, so let's talk about, I'm trying to think of good, okay, I know a good example. Curl, right? So you may or may not know the command line utility called curl, which basically allows you to do web requests, right? HTTP, HTTPS. It has support for others, but for now we'll just think about it in terms of being able to do HTTP requests. So to give you an example, I can do curl google.com. I assume I have it installed. I'm not sure if I do. I do. Okay, so yes, just run it, right? And basically all it did was just send a request to google.com. It got the raw HTML, and then it's just printing the raw HTML to the console. Okay, so the curl library is a way for your programs to be able to make web requests. Easy enough. There's a bazillion different types of libraries that will do that, but for right now, we're going to stick with curl because it's a good explanation. Okay, so curl is what you might call a compiled library, meaning you have the .cpp, you have the .h files, you have the source code essentially for it. And then during the compilation process, what happens is it gets compiled to an object file, and then on Windows, it will eventually get compiled to. Okay, so the first thing it'll compile to is an object file, I'm pretty sure. But then oh gosh, come on, here we go. I'm too busy drawing. Okay, it'll get compiled to an object file, and then on Windows, what the hell are... I'm looking this up because I can't remember. On Linux, library files are compiled to a, I think it's a .a or .o. Ah, I remember now. Okay, so it gets compiled to an object file. We can talk more about object files and what their purpose is if you really want, but it's not really important to this conversation. So it gets compiled to this .object file. Come here. And then from there, it will get compiled to a .lib file. And then from there, it will get added to the .exe, right? So we could go here. Oh my God, why does it do it like that? That's so weird. All right, we can go here, and then we'll go here. Okay, so this is what you would call this entire setup. Here. Oh, that's not good. That's not good, right? I'm literally like a little nervous. Like I'm literally, because you don't understand. Like things will go from like 0 to 100, like, and it will just like turn on a dime, and it might be reserved enough to just kind of like chill until I finish the stream, and then it's just. So I don't know. NotSure says you can stay over at my place if you need to stay. I'm good. I'm not going to be chased out of my own home. I mean, I have been before, but I'm not going to now. Okay, so this is what you would call a static library, okay? And the reason it's called static is because what happens is the binary bits, remember, this is all ASCII. The .cpp files and the .h files are all ASCII. Then it gets compiled into its binary, basically a binary representation of it, right? That's what the .object files are. And then in the case of a static library, there's some like special processing, blah, 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 that gets done, and it gets compiled into a .lib file. But basically what it is the resulting part. Let me turn this on. Highlight. Mouse. Okay. This part here, this .lib part, it literally gets copied into the .exe, right? The .exe has many different portions of it. So if you look at like if you look at a hex editor of the .lib file, you will be able to find those same bytes as a portion of the .exe file, right? And that's how the .exe file can call the code. That's because it's built into the same file. So that's a static library. Okay, now there's another type of library which I generally avoid when I can because they become a pain in the ass. But let's talk about Qt. I've talked about Qt before. Qt is basically a GUI library, which basically allows you to have like buttons and stuff like that, right? Buttons and scroll and drop down menus, blah, 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 right? It has excellent documentation, but it can be very difficult to build with. Anyway, it's right there. So something happens. I've played with Qt. It's cross-platform. Yes, it is cross-platform. So you have something similar. And for now, I'm going to assume you still have the .cpp files, right? But let's just do this. Oh, geez. Geez Louise. Oh, my stars and garters. Oh, dear, boys. Okay. So let's how do I send this to the back? Order. Send to back. All right, so now I should be able to do, yes, I can do that now. Okay, so, oh, my stars and garters, stop it. Okay, so here you have Qt. Some people call it cute. I think that's stupid, and I think it's pathetic, but whatever. So the Qt libraries, these get, basically what happens here is you have a similar, I'm just going to copy this and you'll see why in a second. These have a similar cadence, a similar pattern, right? Except these get on Windows, these get of course a .dll file, and then on Linux I think they're .so files, I think, if I remember correctly. Anyway, wait, are they? What are .dll files called in Linux? Are they .so? Yes, .so. Okay, I was right because I'm a genius. Okay, so Qt libraries are, well, I'm sorry, these are called, you might be able to guess what they're called, but these are called dynamic libraries. And actually the DLL literally stands for dynamic linking library. Dynamic library, right? Now, the result of this is just a regular old DLL file, right? This DLL file. Now, what happens is, now at compile time, you do tell, like, depending on what operating system you're on, depending on how your builds are set up or whatever, but the point of it is you do tell the .exe file. Let's just take an example of, let's say, this is not how it works, but I'm going to use it as an example just for example's purposes, right? Let's just say that all of Qt was put into a single qt.dll file, okay? Now, when you're building your program, come on, there we go. So what happens is, you would actually have the .header files become part of, you would have the header files come into your source code. They would be part of your source code. So you can see here how, like, some of these are like, I don't know, well, the HPP is generally header files. That's probably going to be a DLL. Let me see if I can find, do I have OWL? I don't remember if I have OWL. I do. Shared objects. Today I learned that I'd be careful. I'd be careful throwing the terms around. Shared objects. I would push back on that term. I mean, it's fine, but I'd push back on it. Cute. Let's see. Let's just see. I don't know. .cpp. I'm just trying to think of a .cpp file in this project. Oh, my stars and garters. Why is it taking so long to load? Let's see. Source. Ow. Okay, you see here? Anyway. So this is saying there's a header file somewhere called qmouseevent.h, right? It's literally a file somewhere, I don't know where, but it's somewhere. It's called qmouseevent.h. Now, that is just like the function definitions, right? So that your compiler, when you're compiling the programs, it knows, like, oh, here he's gonna call a function. Where did it go? Was it in a different? Oh, it's like, okay, so when he calls, like, I don't know, do mouse thing, and then it takes an integer, and then it takes thing, right? Then it takes an integer, and it takes a string. Well, if that's in your source code, the compiler needs to know, oh, so somewhere there's a function called do mouse thing, and the first argument's going to be an integer, and the second argument's going to be a string. Okay, excellent. So that happens at the compilation process. Now, and so when you go to run your arc.exe file, what has happened is there's a contract inside that exe file that basically says, all right, so we are using a function called do mouse. Now, it might be, I don't want to get too, but basically we're using a function called mouse. What that function actually does, where it lives, it's going to live in a dynamically linked library called qt.dll, right? And basically, when you load up the exe, one of the first things that happens before any of your source code is even executed, one of the first things that happen is it looks at the list of dynamic libraries that are being used, and then it's saying, okay, well, I know one of the dynamic libraries being used is this qt.dll file. Do I see it? Right? Like, is it in my path? Like, is it somewhere? Like, is it in a folder to which the executable can see? Good enough. So that's why if you have, like, if you never, let's say instead of being in a dynamic library, let's say it was in a static library. Let's say it was in the static library. What would happen? Let me do this. What would happen is your code would not compile because the compiler knows, okay, well, we're making reference to this do mouse function, but it's in a static library, so I should see it somewhere. I should see it in one of the because you can have you basically when you create your .exe file, you say, here's all the static libraries I want to be part of my .exe file. And so the compiler is going to look, it's actually the linker. The linker is going to look and be like, okay, well, there's this do mouse function. Does it exist in any of these static libraries? And if it doesn't, that's when you get a linking error. The linking error, well, there's many types of linking errors, but the most common one is probably the one that says, I forget, like symbol not found or something like that. Basically what it means is, oh, you're referencing something, in this case, the do mouse function, you're referencing something, but it's never defined. Whereas you would not get a linking error if you were using a dynamic library. Instead, you would get a runtime error. And personally, build time errors are better than runtime errors because a user never sees a build error. I don't know why. Maybe if you're a junior engineer like Matthew, then they would, but normally they don't. I was throwing shade at Matthew, but I guess he's not here. Nobody's here. It's just me and NotSure. Anyway, so how does this go back to your question about C++ library? What did you say? Library manager, or what did you say? I'm scrolling up to look. Oh, okay, there's where my wife came in and like embarrassed me. Okay, does it have library management? Got it. Okay. DLL would only be useful if it's a giant library. I disagree. No, I disagree. So here's where DLLs are handy. Well, there's a couple of places where DLLs are handy. So if I am selling my if I'm like, well, no, never mind the selling. Let's just talk about distribution. Actually, selling is a good point. So the way, like Qt, you can use Qt in one of two ways. Well, there's more than that. But typically when you download Qt to use in your program, what you're downloading is you're downloading all those header files. So that basically the header files they define the function like void do mouse. Oh, geez. Void do mouse int x string s, right? They define the function. So basically when you download, the distribution of Qt would be the header files and the .dll files. So that way you don't actually have to compile Qt, right? So that way you just download the header files, you can download the .dll files. Now, you have to download the DLL files for your operating system, sure, but if you're in like Windows or Mac or Linux, as long as you're not on some oddball operating system, it's fine. It saves you the trouble of having to compile them. And like I said, you can also distribute your library without having to distribute all of the source code. You just have to distribute the header file. Not a big deal. So dynamic libraries definitely have their time and place. I think they have a lot of uses, but they can be slower and they can also be a pain in the ass for management, like managing it and stuff like at my day job. We have a lot of libraries, but we only do static linking. And one of the main reasons we do that is it's just easier to manage. But we're finding ourselves in a position where we might have to start doing dynamic linking for certain libraries. Namely, what we want to do is we want to be able to support a plugin architecture so that you can write your own DLL files. And that's another place where DLL files are useful, is for plugin architecture. So what we want to do is we want to be able to have users, or us, or internally, but basically users be able to write DLL files but as plugins now, and then you're executing custom code that's compiled into a .dll file, which is great when you want to have like a plugin type architecture. You can't do that with static libraries because they're built into the .exe file. So I think that static and dynamic libraries, they both generally have their place. So in terms of library management, so when I was doing all that stuff with Conan is a package manager, or as you might call it, a library manager, right? Where in the examples I gave, Qt would be one of the components you download. Curl would be one of the components you download. So when you were looking at Go, Go works very similarly, but even C# has a concept of static and dynamic linking. Like C# under the hood is still doing all of this shit, right? Like you got to realize that C# is built on top of a lower level language. It's not so true nowadays because C# has been compiling itself since I think before the first release, but there's still a lot of low level architecture that lives underneath the hood of C#. Anyway, you can pimp out a DLL. Yeah, you can pimp out a DLL. I'm legit nervous. I'm like legit a little nervous about what's going to happen tonight. Like I'm legit a little nervous. I don't think anybody's here. I think it's just you and I, not sure. We might switch over to the members only soon. Maybe in like a half hour. Let's do a little programming, then I'm going to switch over to the members only. Well, let me ask. Are you going to be around for a little while? Not sure. Because if you're not, well, then never mind. But hopefully you'll be around for a little bit. Let's see if we can get this to build on Windows. I want to see if we can get this to build on Windows. I forgot where I was with everything. So let's just, NotSure says, I'll be here. Okay, cool. All right. As long as I can count on NotSure, then everything is fine and dandy. I just need to eat dinner sometime. Well, I'm not stopping you from eating. I have a feeling there's going to be some drama. I also have a feeling that somebody's going to get a phone call. And I have a feeling it's just going to be I have a feeling that NotSure is going to get a phone call. Okay. Let's see where do I want to go. Okay. So I want to try and build this on Windows. So if I come back over here, I don't even remember what my last error was. Okay, it was about Conan. Let's just do this. Let's just see if we're not able to build because of this. And then we can go over here. Let's try this. Okay, everything installed successfully. All right, easy. Okay, wait a minute. CMake -- I don't even know what this command is doing. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. No, I was legit excited about working on this today. Like today, like I was like, no, Addie, you'll be time to work on, like, because I wanted to work on it like during the day, and I'm like, no, you've got work to do. You've got a tattoo to go work on. This blackout tattoo is looking fucking awesome, by the way. Okay, the preset itself is fine. The important clue is this, but CMake still can't find boostconfig.cmake. That strongly suggests the Conan recipe. Okay, so, imagine that. Conan is fucked up. Imagine that. Wow. Let me see. I'm expecting that to return nothing, but it didn't. It returned quite a bit, actually. Okay, let me just paste this into... There's my soda. It's right there. Ugh. Let's make CMake tell us exactly where it's looking to run. Okay, so I for whatever reason, the build system cannot find the boost recipe, essentially. So the build system, it needs to know like how to not build boost. Maybe it does need to know how. Maybe it does want to build boost. It needs to know like where the boost stuff is. Let's see. Near the bottom, it will print some paths considering to be boostconfig.cmake. Paste that section. I'm just going to paste the whole thing. This AI better be useful. Let's see. Wait, what? How long? Okay, wait. Let's just do that again. See, this is why I need my CB program, because then I could just run this command and pipe. I could just rerun it, but pipe it to CB, and then it'll be right there on the keyboard, on the clipboard. It was actually really useful. I always forgot that I had it, but but when I remembered, it was actually when I was doing programming, it was a super useful little utility. But now something like it exists, and I might have to Google like, okay, well, what exists? Oh my God, how far up does this error go? I don't remember it being that long. Okay, there we go. All right. Woo! Yeah, and this is just a great way to... I'm going to be looking for next weekend, I think, at this rate. Like, we found it. Boost is now being found correctly. The failure has moved on to a real cross-platform CMake issue, and Conan successfully finds the actual Boost library. The fix and CMake lists. Okay, let's go over here. Easy. I'm sorry, NotSure. This is not going to be the most exciting of streams. I'm running out of steam, and I'm like literally a little nervous. Not a little. It used to get bad sometimes. Like, it used to get really bad. And I'm afraid it's about to get that bad. But maybe I'm wrong. It has been in somebody's defense, it has been a long time since it got that bad. But it used to get really bad, and like I'm kind of terrified of it getting that bad again. Okay, the fix around line 47. How do you know what line 40? Okay, here we go. Okay, stack trace basic. make sure to hide all the weapons in the house, all right? Like, I'm laughing, but I'm just laughing just to kind of ease the tension. But, like, you're not wrong. No, I remember this one time. Oh, look, it's working. Okay, it generated the files. Let me see if it works. I remember, wait, let me do this. Well, with Deb. I remember this one time. God damn it, I made a typo. Wait, what is it? Unknown argument. CMake. Isn't it CMake build type? Is it not CMake build type? All right, let me just do this. All right, it's not finding... Okay, it's not finding anything. It's not finding any of the... It's not finding any of the library files I'm including. All right. Okay. I tried building, but it's as though it's unable to find any of the header files in the libraries. Okay. Woo! A wild Muwaan appears. Is he back? Where is he? He left. Okay. No, but I remember this one time. This was this was like a few years ago at this point that I was like, hey, do you want to, what do you want to do this week? And we were just talking. I was like, you know what we could do? We could go to the gun range and I could teach you to shoot. And my wife she's like, no, that's not a good idea because you've seen me. Sometimes I get crazy and it's not a good idea if I know how to use a gun. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, nope, not going to argue that. Not going to argue. Okay. You're using the Visual Studio Generator, which is multi-config. Okay. Oh, I don't want config release. I want config rel with deb info. It's still okay. Let me try AIs. Okay. I see. Okay, so I told Conan, I must have told Conan to basically do its magic for release builds, not debug builds. So basically, it compiled release versions it set up release versions of all the libraries, static and dynamic, that I need to link to. It still didn't quite work, but it definitely got not as many errors. What is this? Okay. I think, okay, let me try this. Okay. I think I understand, but I want to compile a rel with deb info build. So I think I need to tell Conan to do its thing for a rel with deb info build and not a release. Is that correct? And how do I do that? I just talked it. So I had been hesitant to use the speaker or the microphone feature for this because it would always reset the volume of my microphone so that like it would got quieter or louder. So let me know if the volume of the microphone has changed at all. So yeah, AI says yes, that's correct. See, because I'm a genius. Okay, rel with deb info. Okay, so let's just do that. Okay. So it's just got to pull the packages. It doesn't really look like it's compiling anything. No, it's yeah, I'm gonna go. Let's go to members only. I'm gonna switch over. I'm gonna give me a second. Let me see. I gotta remember how to do that. Just give me a second, okay? God, not sure. Just chill out and give me a minute. Oh, thunder. Constantly just bugging me. Just constant, non-stop. Not sure, just always on my ass. Just chill. Not sure, just always on my ass. See, I had to like say it twice. Okay, how do I do this? Members only live stream. Starts in 5 minutes. Schedule. Okay. And then we'll pick up the conversation once we're on the once we're on the members only. I like the multicolored errors. I do too. Excuse me. So if you are listening and you're not sure, if you are not the person known as not sure, click join, become a member, and then you'll be able to listen. And it's just $1.99 per month. Like, come on. You can afford $1.99 per month. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know how many kids you got. I don't know how much alimony you're paying, but I know you can afford $1.99 a month. And you know what? If you're paying alimony, tell your ex-wife, because let's be real. If you're paying alimony, you're a man. So if you're very, very, and I know that if some woman heard this, be like, well, that's not always true. Women pay alimony too. Yes, and people also get struck by lightning, but still, it's very, very rare. Not Sure says, I'm the only one here. Well, according to my stats, there are 4 people here. So my stats are better than your stats. So let's just say it that way. Muwaan, come here, boy. Come here. No, okay, no. There's thunder outside, so he's freaking. Oh wait, are you back? Are you back in Virginia? Not sure. Are you back home? Apparently, I got to mention live stream. Oh yeah, members only live stream starting soon. Thank you, Not Sure. Maybe those are different platforms. Maybe what's different platforms? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm in Virginia. Okay, so you are back home. You know what I haven't done today? Oh, wait, I did do it. I did take a blood pressure check at 4:30. Oh, I was hoping that I would close my eyes and that it would be ready. Nope, still not ready. And I don't want to be taken by surprise with the members only. I announced the stream on Discord. Thank you, Not Sure. I appreciate that. Not Sure is like my best friend. Better than that wanker Matthew who's never here. What's he doing? He's probably, I'm on the phone with my friend. I was playing a video game. So I don't like him. And then, oh my God, Justin's not here. Oh God, I had a big heart-to-heart with him. You know what? I should save this for the members only. Oh, Matthew is here. Look who it is. I'm not a lanker. I'm also a member. I'm playing a game. I fucking knew it. I'm playing a game with my friend. I fucking knew it. You can't trust anybody these days. Can't trust anybody. I'm done. You know what, Matthew? Please ban Matthew. I'm done. NotSure says, okay, I have something for you, Matthew. Oh, I bet you do. All right, I'm just waiting for this. I'm waiting for the members only. It feels like that. This is like the longest 5 minutes of my life. Nothing's going for me today. That's not true. That's not true. I do have some things going for me today. Ugh. Yeah, but that's for today. We'll see how tentative that is. All right, the members only should be coming real soon. It's driving me nuts because now I want to get it all out of my system while I'm still alone here. I want to get it all out. What's the best way to send you 600 megabyte file? Man, if only there was like some like service, right, where you could go and you could send somebody a file for like